what time it is, y'all. You already know what time it is. It's the NBA draft week. So it's time. It's time to make a selection. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some basketball. Orlando Magic basketball. Like I just said, the NBA draft is this week. We are right around the corner. It's a couple of days away. So you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to do an official mock draft who the Orlando Magic will take with the number one overall pick. Now, who I want them to take, who I believe the Orlando Magic will take with the number one overall pick. We're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. But before we do that, like I've been telling y'all before, if you're liking the content, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the channel on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share it on all that. Also, comment on all the videos and also follow me on social media. The links in the description below. We giving away 30 days free Amazon Prime. So if you ain't got Amazon Prime, what you waiting on? Don't you like free stuff? I'm giving away 30 days free. The link is in the description below. You get 30 days free Amazon Prime. So if you don't have Amazon Prime, the link is in the description. Sign up. Get your 30 days free. Also, hit the other links in the description. Follow me on all social media platforms. And hey, if you are in the Houston area on draft night, your boy is going to be out there live streaming the NBA draft at Crafty Crab and Jones Road in 290. Jones Road 290, Crafty Crab on Thursday, 7 o'clock Central Time. So if you in the Houston area, pull up. Me and the rest of the boys at Soft Sports, we going to be out there live streaming the NBA draft. Talking about the Magic picking number one. Talking about the Thunder picking number two. Talking about the Houston Rockets picking number three. I know a lot of y'all Rockets fans. Some of y'all Magic fans just like your boy. So pull up. If you in the area, make sure you pull up. If you ain't able to pull up, watch me live stream. The stream is going to be here live on the YouTube channel at 7 o'clock Central Time. Live stream the draft. You're going to see my initial reaction. You're going to see your boy Wise' initial reaction when the Rockets pick. You're going to see all that good stuff. So make sure that you pull up. If you're able to pull up in person. If you ain't able to pull up, make sure you view it on the live stream as well. Remember, Jones Road, Crafty Crab at Jones Road in 290, Houston, Texas, and Jones Road off of 290. Make sure you pull up. Now, let's talk about it because all the data's in. We seen Jabari do a workout a couple weeks ago. We seen Chad supposedly do a workout, but didn't do anything with the media. Pablo did a workout, but they kind of how they Ivy, he confirmed that he did a workout with only two teams, the Magic and the Pistons. So everything is being so secretive. Everybody's being so secretive. Where's everybody leaning there? Where's everybody leaning there? Because we already know the Vegas odds have Jabari being the number one pick, and it's had the Jabari being the number one pick for a couple weeks now. And when you look at it, they all have flaws because there's no consistent number one overall pick. There's no Shaq, there's no LeBron, there's no AD, there's no Zion, there's no number. Oh, this is going to be the number one overall pick. We don't have that in this draft, so it can go either way. And you know, a lot of people been going back and forth who they gonna take, who they want them to take. So let's look at the prospects real quick before I mention. We're gonna look at the prospects. We're gonna talk about the obvious one, the one that everybody's saying the best favorite, the one who I actually want the Orlando Magic to take, and that is Jabari Smith Jr. I feel like he's the best shooter in the draft, a guy who can play good defense, a guy who I think can shoot the lights out the gym if he gets hot, and he's the best shooter in this draft. A guy who is definitely, I think at his floor, at his bare minimum, he can be a decent 3-and-D guy. And I think he's the best fit for the Orlando Magic, in my personal opinion, because he opens up the offense. He spreads the floor, opens up the things for Franz Wagner, opens up the court for Wendell Carter, helps both Suggs and Markelle be able to get shots off and able to move and pass the ball around and just make the offense just be more fluid, be a little bit more shared basketball. Kind of like, I'm not saying Golden State-ish, but I am saying Golden State-ish. How they play and pass the ball around, a lot of ball movement. I think with Jabari, I do think that he helps, it opens up the court and also helps open up the floor and allows you to do more things offensively. Now, when you look at Chet Holmgren, a guy, the center out of Gonzaga, who I think he's like 7'1", 7'2", forgot what exactly what his height is. But you know, the knock on him is he's 195 pounds. But he's a guy who should be able to be a good rim protector in the NBA, a guy who's able to get from one end of the court to another next with just a couple of dribbles because he's so long and so fast. And people keep on saying that he's a unicorn. They like to throw this word out. He's a unicorn, and he don't really have a comparison because he's going to be that next guy. And then you hear the bold confidence when he's asked who's the best player in the NBA. He said himself in 2 months. Could that come back to bite him, or is that just the confidence they have? And you look at somebody like Paolo, who's a guy. A guy who was the lead scorer on Duke, a team that went all the way to the Final Four, lost in North Carolina in the first game of the Final Four, but it's a guy who can get buckets, who can score on all three levels, can take it to the hole, finish at the rim, have a mid range. Not that great at 3 points, but he can hit the 3-point. He can hit it consistently enough. A guy who can just straight out, flat out get buckets. He's a guy who can go out there and get you buckets. Now, the knock on all these guys, the knock on Paolo is the defense. Kind of falls asleep on the defensive end. Now, people say, is it effort? Is it just, because he has the body type. He's 6'10", 250. He's a guy who's NBA ready right now today. But his lack of defense is more so of want to. Really just not caring on the defensive end. And I kind of compare it a little bit to James Harden a little bit, that maybe, he's giving so much energy on the offensive end. That's the reason why he kind of slacks off on defense. Is that something that you can fix? Or is he going to be a liability on defense in crucial parts in the game? Like I said about Chet Holmgren, the knock on him is his weight. He's 7 foot, but he's 195 pounds. That's small if you 6'4". So you talking about he's a guy talking about that he's gonna be the best player. He's the best player in the NBA in 2 months. You don't think that's gonna come back to bite him? Going up against Giannis, who's a 2-time MVP, going up against Embiid, going up against Jokic, who's another 2-time MVP, going up against somebody like Zion, going up against somebody like DeAndre Ayton, like going up against some of these bigger centers and power forwards. They're gonna hold the lane. They're gonna abuse him in the paint. And then you have somebody like Ja Morant. You don't think Ja Morant gonna be coming down like a locomotive, ready to put that shoulder right in that boy's chest, to take him to the hole and see if he's gonna take the charge? Like, you don't think that those type of things are gonna happen? So especially when him putting their own target on his back himself, saying he's the best player in the NBA in 2 months. That's something. Now when you talk about Jabari got good defense. He has a decent size, a guy who can shoot out. But the knock on him is his handle. His handle. Is his handle good enough and will mature enough because he doesn't have playmaker, or is he just going to end up being a catch and shoot guy? Because that's the fear, that he can just be a catch and shoot guy. And that's why I think that, to be honest, I think he actually has the higher floor. People say that Paolo has the highest floor. I think Jabari has the highest floor, and that's one of the reasons why I want him, because not only he has the highest floor, I lean towards that shooting, because I think at the very minimum he could be a 3-and-D guy, a guy who can play good defense and shoot, and that right there can get you started. Now, with the number 1 overall pick, you want a star player, you want a star caliber player, a guy who can lead your franchise. Can he be that? Can he be that? Can Chet be that? Can Paolo be that? So, after hearing everything that I've heard and seeing everything that I've seen over the past couple of weeks, you see Chet saying that that Chet doesn't want to go. He was holding out health information, and then he only wants to go to OKC, which I think is actually the best fit for him. And then you hear today that he kind of anywhere he go would be a good thing for him. He kind of dialing back a little bit. And that comes that you don't want that thing on you. You already come out there and saying you're gonna be the best player in 2 months in the NBA. When you in the NBA, you're gonna be the best player. Then you don't also want that thing that you try to force your way to OKC, because that's gonna be a bad look on you whenever you get to wherever you go. Or what if OKC doesn't? What if OKC even passing on you? Then those type of situations. So I understand the dialing back. I don't put too much stock into that. But who I think the Orlando Magic will take with the first pick in the 2022 NBA draft, I think it's gonna be Paolo. After everything I'm hearing, I'm thinking it's gonna be Paolo, because the Magic are being extremely secretive when it comes to the whereabouts of the workout with Paolo. They're being too secretive, and it's like something is up. Something don't smell right. We know Jabari practiced for 2 hours, and then he met with the media. Chet, we confirmed that he went there, but he didn't meet with the media. And the report that he was in Orlando for 2 days. Ivy has confirmed himself that he's worked out for the Magic. We know that he spoke to Paolo via Zoom, and the reports were that Paolo was flying out this weekend to Orlando. But then when was asked about Paolo, they went around. Wallman went around the way not to answer and tried to make it just being a little bit extra secretive, and that's a cause to pause. And I was listening to Locked On podcast over the weekend, and they said something that kind of made sense. You know what I'm saying? That what I kind of agree is that Jabari is the best fit for the way the Orlando Magic are. And that's the reason why he picked that the Orlando Magic want to take Jabari, because he felt that he was the best pick. The best fit, which I agree. That Paolo's not the best fit, but Paolo can fit, but he's not the best fit because of the way he is. But he also said that with the number 1 overall pick, you don't have to draft for fit. Whoever you draft and decide to be your number 1 pick is your franchise guy. You make your team fit around him because that's who you make to be your franchise guy. And Paolo's the most NBA ready. When you look at Paolo, he led the team to the NBA Finals. He's the most NBA ready. Like I said the other day in the video, Paolo versus Jabari, is that I feel like Jabari, even though Jabari can shoot, Paolo's the better scorer. I think Paolo is a guy who could be a 25, it could easily be a 25, 5-5 guy in the NBA, if not 25, 7-8 guy in the NBA. 25 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, easy. I definitely think he could be that type of guy. I also think that he could also be a guy that could be scoring in the 30s in the NBA easy as well. I think in Orlando, I think Paolo could be Rookie of the Year because the ball and the offense will be ran through him. I don't think that will be the case in OKC or in Houston because you have both Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in OKC and you have Jalen Green in Houston. In Orlando, you don't have that. In Orlando, you don't have nobody who's a primary scorer. So you draft Paolo, he will be the primary scorer. Like I said, this is something the Orlando Magic have been missing since the moment Tracy McGrady got traded to Houston. They have not had a guy that you can give the ball to and say, score, give me that. Go give me that. And I know a lot of people make up because a lot of people they want Chet because of the size and the length, and the same thing with Jabari and the type of we know the Magic, the brain trust, they like size, they like length, they like defense. And shout out to my boy Anthony Al out there in the Ozone podcast because they also said this the other day too, that even though the Magic brain trust have a type, no size and length, but they also drafted Cole Anthony, who's opposite, completely opposite of that. No size, no length, and no defense. Smallest guy on the court, and probably one of your worst defenders. And who was on the board, who they did pass on, even though he's on the Magic now, is R.J. Hampton. They passed on R.J. Hampton to get it, and R.J. Hampton would fit what they want. A guy who's longer, who's a little more athletic, and plays better defense than Cole. So RJ would fit the brain trust model more so than Cole did. But they drafted Cole. They did. He fits that mold. He fits that mold. When we don't know about if they would have took Scotty Barnes over Suggs, because Scotty Barnes would fit that mold more so than Suggs would, but Suggs was on the board, Scotty Barnes wasn't. Scotty Barnes got drafted by Toronto, so we don't know if they would make that same decision. So it's not just cut and dry that okay, they're gonna draft Chet because of those attributes, or because he went to school. I think that's the most weakest argument. Oh, he went to high school with he went to high school with Suggs, and that doesn't mean anything. Like, people like, yeah, was y'all friends with everybody y'all went to high school with? Was y'all friends with everybody y'all played, whatever sports y'all played, football, basketball, soccer, tennis, whatever, was you friends with everybody that was on your team? I doubt it. So just because they played together does not mean that they were friends. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not friends. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that's not just an easy line. I think that's a weak line. I think you draft the best player available. Me personally, I want it to be Jabari. But if they draft Paolo, I understand it, and I feel that's what it is because how secretive they being, and that he's a guy. Okay, he's a guy who we will make the franchise cornerstone guy. He's a guy who's NBA ready right now, today. He's a guy who can go out there and get you buckets. Like I said, I think he could easily get 25, 5, and 5. Potentially be a guy that probably getting you 27, 7, and 8, 29, 7, and 8. 35 and 5, something like that. 32, 5, 5. I definitely think he could be that type of guy. He could be a guy who I ain't gonna say be a lead. Man, if he's scoring 30 points, he probably would be the conversation. Be get you a scoring talent and be a lead scorer because he is a guy who get buckets. Now again, he leaves a lot to be desired on defense. But if you put him around, Fultz and Suggs and J.I. when J.I. come back. And you also put him around when they like you can mask his defensive deficiencies. And if he's a guy who's getting you 25 to 30 points, I don't give a damn if you're falling asleep on defense. Keep scoring. like for real. Like square business. Keep scoring. I don't care that you falling asleep on defense. If you bringing me these numbers, if he's out here giving you 25, 26, 27, 5 and 7 rebounds and assists a game, making plays, doing what he's doing, scoring on the offensive end, he can fall asleep on defense. Now again, I do think you have to do a little bit more to help Franz Wagner fit into him with the offense. I think that both Suggs and Markelle will still be fine fitting in. I think it's more so Franz Wagner who might have to take a little bit more of a back seat. But that kind of what happened. I know a lot of y'all mad about that. But that kind of what happens when you have a number 1 overall pick. Because when you draft somebody number 1 overall, you're basically saying that he's the franchise guy. Unless it's a situation like in Cleveland when they had Kyrie, and they a situation in Cleveland when they had Kyrie, and they drafted Andrew Wiggins, even though they traded Wiggins for when LeBron got there. Or better yet, a better example is Orlando. You already had Shaq. You already had a franchise cornerstone guy. I know everybody wanted Chris Webber. He was a number 1 overall pick, but you already had Shaq, so there was no reason to have Shaq and Chris Webber. So you made the play, you made the move to go out there and get Penny. I don't see them drafting Ivy. I don't see them obviously they wouldn't draft Ivy at 1. Could they trade back? I don't see them trading back to get Ivy. The reason why I don't see them trading back to get Ivy because you already have Markelle Fultz and you already have Jalen Suggs. It's a log jam in that guard position. I don't really see you getting Ivy. I really don't. I think it's between the main 3, and I think, like I said, I think it's going to be Paolo. I want it to be Jabari. I'm cool with Paolo. Don't get me wrong. Don't get twisted. I will be crunk and happy if they draft Paolo. I'm cool with Paolo. I want it to be Jabari because I think Jabari is a better shooter. Well, I think he is the better shooter, and I think that he has a better floor because at the very least, even if he doesn't become a superstar guy, which you want him to be at the one, what you want to be with the number 1 overall pick, at the very least, he will be a great 3-and-D guy. But I definitely think that Paolo could be a guy who's a Rookie of the Year candidate and definitely be a guy who leads your franchise. I know a lot of people here, Rockets fans, y'all hate that because I know y'all want to pair him up with Jalen Green. That's cool and all, and I think that would be a nice duo too. But he would have to take a backseat to Jalen Green. That's why I think him personally, he would want to take a backseat to Jalen Green. I think he would love to go to Houston. It's Houston. I think he has no issue with going to Houston, but I definitely think he would want to go to be the guy. He was the guy at Duke. At Duke, led a team to the Final Four. He was the guy that Coach K said, "Hey, give me them buckets, bro. Give me them buckets." And he got him them buckets. Time and time again. He was the guy that you leaned on time and time again. He a guy who went all the way to the Final Four. Not time and time again because he only played 1 season. He was the best freshman in college basketball. I hear people talk about how he was the best freshman in high school basketball. So he was a guy that's definitely been the quote-unquote guy, like I say, 6'10", 250. They say that he's at 6'10" and a half without shoes. He's a guy who's definitely NBA ready today. And the funny thing about it is the Summer League thing came out, and the Magic played the Rockets the first Summer League game, July 7th. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can y'all just imagine, cause the live stream, like I say, if you in there, you pull up. If I'm I'm a Magic fan, around a whole bunch of Rocket fans, because my co-hosts on Soft Sports, they all Rocket fans. They want Paolo in the Magic draft, Paolo #1. Wise, I know you hate that. Why is the biggest one that's gonna hate that? Why is gonna be mad at your boy? I ain't gonna be tripping. Again, I want Jabari, but I believe the Orlando Magic will take Paolo with the #1 pick. They being a little bit too secretive. They been a little bit too, when it comes to, we didn't. They don't want nobody to know. And also, just because I think he's the guy who's the go-getter, he's the guy that's gonna get the buckets. I believe that that's who they want, and that's who they're going to pick to lead their franchise. I never believed it was Chet. I know a lot of people think it's going to be Chet. I don't believe it's going to be Chet. I'll be surprised. I ain't going to lie. Not only do I not want Chet, I will be surprised if it is Chet. I will be genuinely surprised. And it's kind of like, if y'all see my football videos, it's kind of like how I was with Sauce and Stingley. I wanted Sauce, but I wasn't tripping if we drafted Stingley. And we drafted Stingley. I want Jabari. I'm not tripping if we draft Paolo. I believe we drafted Paolo. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below. If you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Hey, like I said, if you're able to pull up, Crafty Crab. But if you're not able to pull up, if you ain't able to pull up, watch on the live stream. I'll holla.